Okay, 1, 2. It is Friday, February the 11th at 5:19 p.m. And um, good. I'm glad that happened. It usually does. That womb noise. Okay, now live on your channel. Okay. You can chat, but I don't know if I'll see it. And if I do see it, I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer it. But I will take questions and observe commentary. I tried to invite guests onto me talking so as I'd have somebody to talk with yesterday, but that didn't work. And yet it lets me talk to the screen. So here I am talking to the screen. And I think too much is the title of this. One of the reasons I think too much is because um, I lose my sense of being by overthinking my action. Does anybody else do that? Yeah, quite a lot of people, I'm sure. Let me see if I can open up the chat. If there's anybody there. Is there anybody there? If they are, say hi. Okay. Um, I don't even know if this is going to be informative or helpful for anybody else. There's a lot going on in this world, and on a daily basis, we're bombarded with television, news, multimedia, um, having to make a living, struggling to find how to do that. I mean, all of these things are, busy stuff. And I'm a busy man. I like to be creative, so I make music. I've been purposefully um, keeping myself away from escaping into it and awaiting inspiration to do it. I haven't lost my muse. I don't believe there are muse. I do believe there's muses, but yeah, I haven't lost my muse or my urge or my passion for doing it. I just am purposefully giving myself a break from absorbing all of my being into music and art because I've been trying to explore different avenues of my life um, that in the past have proven difficult, but in the present seem to be bearing fruit, which I know that sounds too obscure, and I'd like to give you more details, but it's not something that I can truly define. It's something that I think someone told me a long time ago. It's what you perceive is what gets your attention. What gets your attention um, gets fed, and so in a way, I'm feeding my attention in areas outside of my normal sphere of perception because I'm curious, is the best word, I suppose. I'm curious to see what else is out there for me if I don't do the thing that I really truly love doing, which I'm going to continue to do, but I'm just taking a break from. It's kind of strange, but I some people might get it. I don't know. Um, I just listened to a friend of mine who's on a. She does so much great work, Emily Moya. I just listened to her, a lot of her platforms for where she's been making money, doing very interesting conversations with very interesting people, and expanding horizons by doing so. Some of her platforms she's being deplatformed from certain corporate owned entities that have been allowing us to post everything we want to post for a very long time, and have suddenly said, no, not that. So she being forced into change when you've been very comfortable doing what you're doing can sometimes yield silver linings. And I'm hoping that happens with Emily, because she's a brilliant mind, and that brilliant mind needs, I think, actually a wider audience than she can possibly get from the platform she was using. So I do think that it may actually spark more people being interested in exploring things that are outside of the normal purview. I know that sounds way too. Everything I'm saying it right now, I understand is sounding very vague, but you know, it used to be. I'm old, so for me, it used to be, do you believe in God? Yeah, of course I do. That was enough of an explanation. Now we have to understand and recognize that within that question, that single simple question, it could be yes or no. And if it is yes or no, we can go deeper. Even if it's yes, even if it's in the positive, you still have to now explore what that means to you, not what it necessarily means to the questioner, but to you, because it's not necessarily a given what that means. You know, yes can mean many things. That's a very weird way of putting it, but there are many people trying to explain things that are unexplainable, and they're making a very interesting job of it. Some of them are making outrageous claims of esoteric and mysterious, unknown things. I'm not just interested in facts. I'm interested in feelings. I'm interested in what we harbor within us that we haven't explored. And that way we can take that out into the world and go, okay, if this is my belief that everybody, and everybody is a very weird word, but every person I come across in some way is seeking one thing more than anything. I want to find what that one thing is. And, you know, many people say, oh, well, I just want enlightenment, you know, or money or freedom, or, you know, I mean, it can be many things, or it can be a more esoteric way of, or weird way of finding out who you really are. I mean, you know, I mean, nearly all philosophers get to the who am I, philosophers and pontificators, which is me. I'm a pontificator. I believe that I get channeled messages because some days I wake up and I've got way too much to say that I haven't really thought about much, and then I say it because I believe it's, I'm being a conduit to um, some questions that want to be out in the world, and it's not always questions, sometimes it's messages. So I like the idea that I think myself to be a messenger. um, I I have had experience of automatic writing and um, even automatic talking, which is it's I can't really explain that, but I'll go on or talk, be in a conversation with somebody and not think, and I'm saying a bunch of stuff, and then they'll repeat stuff back to me, and I'm like, did I really say that? Because I really did, and I don't know where it came from. Um, if all of us were consistently factual, we would have very small conversations. Um, we are what we believe, and so most interaction is based on a belief system that is a belief system. It's not a fact to the other person. So conversations are very interesting when you watch the dynamic of conversations. um, I've watched the dynamic of many conversations on this screen recently, and you can see some people have an agenda and never waver from it, and they're asked questions about something that's outside of their agenda, but they get it back to their agenda. I mean, it's a political trick that's, you been going on for centuries. But what I'm talking about is one-on-one conversations with individuals who are trying to be completely and utterly open about what it is that's real to them. I mean, what's real to me is not really hungry, but it's time for me to eat. um, I normally have to eat every 4 or 5 hours because my energy is, that's where my metabolism is, and that's how my energy is kept up. So it is my dinner time, but I don't really feel hungry right now. But I have cooked some food. So when I do get hungry, I don't have to go, oh my God, now I've got to wait an hour for this to cook or whatever. I've already pre-cooked some food. So, um, and why did I say that? Because nutrition. I've been talking to a friend of mine. He's been having a very bad, no, I'd say very bad. He feels well enough himself, but he's having a gastric problem that won't go away. And I don't think he's getting enough nutrition in his diet. And everything he eats passes through him. So his energy levels, he said he feels pretty good, but he has to take a nap in the afternoons, and his energy is not what it used to be. And so I started to look at what he eats, because I share a house with this person, so I can actually see him at meal times, and he pecks all day, little bits here and there, and what he eats is not necessarily fully nutritious. So I don't know. I mean, I've been talking to another friend who is a healer. She's a wonderful person. She studied nutrition. My separated from wife studied nutrition in Berkeley, and when I was a young man, I was told you are what you eat. Up to a point, yeah. And so recently, it's been on my mind a lot. Health is wealth. Eating well, getting nutritious foods, and keeping your energy levels up, which helps you deal with the frequency at which you operate. You know, I mean, I'm operating from a fairly high frequency for a lot of people, and I like that frequency because it, you know, I have fun with it, and my energy is pretty good. So health is wealth. I'm not getting enough exercise, which I've got to step up a little bit more. Step up being appropriate. I've got to do some more cardio work, but you know, I mean, for the most part, I think that over the last 4 or 5 years, my life has dramatically changed within a society that wants to change it this way, and I'm actually going in and I feel it's not like I'm fighting it. I'm just in a flow that's going in a different direction, and I'm okay with it. I mean, it's really uh it's really a reward in and of itself. You know, I'd struggle financially. Who doesn't? But the point being is, those things are just, you know, daily stuff. But what I'm talking about is I feel very well within myself. I don't feel I don't feel I'm getting older. I don't feel like I'm getting less energetic. I feel like I'm carrying the same energy I've carried since I was 18 years old. So, and that's a very powerful thing to say, but I don't think that I'm slowing down. I don't think that I'm um, being more contemplative. I'm not accepting that I need to slow down. I'm just feeling a sense of being that is as strong as it was at any point during my youth. So that's good. I mean, that feels, you know, that's like wow. But I think that's because I'm taking care of myself, and I've been at many points in my life. I've been looked after by somebody else and getting on with things, just doing stuff. You know, I was a human doing, not a human being. Now, as a human being, I'm taking care of me, and that helps me be at 100%, so I can actually go out there and help others. And the danger I've had from that mindset is um, trying to help others who don't need help, or actually don't realize they need help. I mean, we all need help. We need help from each other. I'm not denying that, you know, without interaction, I don't exist, because, you know, it's, or do I? Oh, you know, but we need each other, so that when I try and help somebody, it's got to be somebody who wants to help themselves, because otherwise I'm being a bully. A bully is a big word for it, but it is bullying. I'm trying to help somebody change into something that they're not wanting to change into. They're entirely happy being going in this direction, and I'm going, "God, you should come here. It's really good. Come on, here, I'll help you." And it's like, you know, I'm meddling in other people's affairs. That's what it amounts to when I do that. Now, my children, on the other hand, need a little bit of guidance from their dad, and I've had lots of experience, so I pass that on, and that wisdom that I've acquired from that experience has helped me with my beautiful daughters, 20 and 18, and they're going out into the world doing their thing. And I'm very happy with that. But other than that, how do I know any better than you what you want? How do I know any better than any of you what you want? How would I know that? And if I did know it, and I said, "Hey, I think I know," and you can go, "Yeah, all right," and then completely ignore me, walk away, not take my advice, and that's fine. And that's how we interact. And I've been aware recently of people that have asked me, could you do it this way? Could you do it that way? Could you do this? And I'm like, no, I would rather do it my way. And I do it with an assertion of, I've done this sort of thing before, so I know how to do it. That's a very strange thing to say too, isn't it? Because there are things that I'm doing that I've never done before. Um, there are similarities, but not actually that thing, because every experience is a new experience if you open your eyes to it and accept it for what it is. But we all bring a certain amount of ourselves into the world, and we have to be very aware that we can have influence on many, and we have, just by being, automatically have some influence. And how much advice you give to a person, and influence you have over a person, has to be taken responsibility for. You have to be responsible for that. And that's the thing that I'm finding is starting to be more in the front of my mind. It's like, wait a minute, I can't say that to that person, because if I do, then that influence. But if you come from a place of good intention and you believe that that is good advice, then that's great. But I always like to put a proviso of, I don't necessarily want you to take my advice, but you know what? This is a really good idea. And that's as much as I can do, really. I'm getting a bunch of messages on my phone. That's why I keep looking over there. 23 minutes. I think that's long enough. Pontificating. I'm noticing that things that we thought were in place for us are being taken away from us. I also noticed that things that we didn't think could come to us are being given to us. So I'm ready to accept the gift, and those gifts that I thought were there forever, they're going too. So I think we're in a very interesting transitional part of humanity's grand evolution, and I'm lucky to be alive to witness this. I'm happy to be alive, not lucky, happy to be alive to witness this transition. I think that we're able to access love and unconditional love, and that's a lot different from the interpretations of love that I've seen witnessed on this screen and many others. But love, real unconditional love, and I think we're almost able, each of us, humanity is evolving towards that knowledge of unconditional love, and that's the sense of belonging that I think we all are seeking. And again, That's just me pontificating. I can do that, especially to a screen, because nobody's going to go, "No, you're wrong, mate." And if I am, I'm happy to be wrong. All right. Ending this, lots of love, ending the stream. Hopefully I can save it. I've been having problems with technology, but that's okay. It's having problems with me. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. That's what it's all about, mate. Love, love, love. Where'd that go?